Hey folks, welcome to another day, another unboxing. And it's kind of interesting because, as you probably know, if you followed and you look up here, I unboxed the Oppo Reno 2 a little while ago. And then more recently, like about a week ago or so, I unboxed the Oppo Reno Z. And then this is the Oppo Reno 2Z. So I'm kind of mixing it up. I mean, to be fair, the first generation Reno and the second generation Reno are about 6 months apart. The Reno 2 and Reno 2Z are from the newer generation, and the original Reno Z is from the older generation. Now, the Z products have the MediaTek chip on them, the Helio P90, so that's what's interesting about this. But this is better spec-wise than the Reno Z was. There's more cameras, but not quite as many cameras as the Reno 2, which is a Snapdragon-based device. So it's really interesting to see how Oppo positions these devices. You would have thought that they would have kind of an equivalent version, but really you're losing some cameras and stuff. So let's take a look, shall we? This is the box. It says Oppo, it says Reno 2Z. There's some barcodes on this end, and more barcodes, and more Oppo, and the box is being dropped, and then there's an IMEI sticker at the bottom. So yeah, this is what we're looking at. 8 GB, 128 gigs of storage on this unit, so that's pretty exciting. And that's nice specs. Just in case you're wondering in terms of price point, this is about a $500 phone. So about the same price, similar price to the Reno 2, which has more cameras and a Snapdragon chip. So interesting to see that. Anyway, let's open it up. Dun, 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 dun. This is a bit of a slow box to open, so bear with me. I'm trying to help it along. Boom, nothing inside. Very similar layout to the other Renos. We got a little divider here with some documentation. And as you can see, nothing left in here. We've got a Oppo, maybe instructions. Yeah, in multiple languages. I'm not going to go through that. Probably tells you where all the controls are. And this is probably the warning, basically safety regulatory stuff. Here's the phones. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And then we've got a divider again. This is a really nice little plastic divider. And like the Reno 2, there is really beautifully made faux, like fake leather case. So that's pretty nice. I like that a lot on the Reno 2, so I'm glad to see it here. And then of course we've got the AC adapter. This is obviously for Hong Kong or the UK or some country that uses UK plugs. I'm not quite sure what the wattage on this. I think it's somewhere around 20 to 30 watts. It's a Oppo VOOC charger, fast charging, with the green keyed connector, USB type A. We got a USB A to C cable, of course. You can see the C end right here, and then the A end right over there. And then we got a SIM removal tool in here. I'm not going to take that out. And then finally, just like the other Renos, we have a pair of earbuds, which look very much like iPhone earbuds. And in this case, I have a 3.5 millimeter connector at the end, which tells you something. This phone had a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which is really good news. So that's it for the content of this box. Now let's look at the phone. So here is some of the information. There is 48 megapixel ultra wide quad camera. There's ultra dark mode, ultra steady video, 6.5 inch AMOLED screen, 4000 milliamp hour battery with VOOC 3 fast charge, 8 gigs, 128 gigs of storage. Good stuff. So let me remove this from its packaging real quick. There we go. And then I'm going to make sure there's no IMEI stickers back here. There is one, so let me peel it off if I can get it. So there we are. There's the IMEI sticker. I think we're safe now. Oh, look at these Oppo phones. These Reno phones are really gorgeous. They really know how to make these phones shine. You have the trademarked little bump here so that when you put it down, you don't scratch the camera lens. And since the lenses are flush in the phone, that's something that all the Oppo Renos have had since pretty much day one. So you have 4 cameras here. I don't know if you see, there's 1, 2, 3. The 4th one is right there. LED flash and the little nubbin. Let me walk you through what these cameras do. So as I said in the little cover, there's a 48 megapixel f/1.7 main camera. That's the 4-in-1 quad pixel technology. Pixel binning, good stuff. It's a very good sensor. There's an 8 megapixel f/2.2 ultra wide. So that's the same as we've seen on the Reno Z and the Reno 2. Then there is a 2 megapixel black and white with massive 1.75 micron pixels. It's got an f/2.4 lens. And then there's another 2 megapixel f/2.4 camera that's a depth sensor for portraits and stuff. And that one also has 1.75 micron pixels. That's kind of insane. So basically what we're talking about here is a different setup, because the Reno 2 has a telephoto as well, but the Reno Z obviously doesn't have a telephoto, and this doesn't either. So yeah. So that's it for the back. There's a 4000 milliamp hour battery under the hood. Helio P90 from MediaTek, definitely up there, not the top chip, but one of their top chips. We've got 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM, you already know that. There's another option that has 256 gigs of storage as well, with the same amount of RAM. There is micro SD support. So now let's have a look at the front. I'm going to turn on the phone and we'll take a look. There we go. There's the Oppo logo. So the front is an AMOLED touchscreen. It's 6.53 inches, 1080p, 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, is bezel-less. So there is no front-facing camera disturbing the flow. There you can see it very well here. There's a bit of a chin, but not much at all. There's an in-display fingerprint reader, of course. And you guessed it, there is a pop-up camera. You can see the opening right here for the pop-up camera. So this, like the Reno 2, has a pop-up camera. The Reno 2 is a shark fin. It kind of opens like that. This is more like one of those points out. And the Reno Z had a notch, like a teardrop notch. So it's a little different. And then that's it really for the front. There's obviously an earpiece up here. It's kind of hidden and well hidden in there. Well done. Let me walk you through the edges really quickly. I'm not going to set this up, as you know, this is just an unboxing. So on the left hand side, there's a volume rocker. You can see it here. On the bottom, there is a headphone jack, a USB Type-C port, and speaker. And then you have the power lock key with a green accent, just like the little nubbin in the back, and some of the UI elements, as you can see, matches, really nice. So the green accented power lock key, and then the SIM tray, micro SD tray. And on top, you have a secondary microphone and the pop-up camera. That's basically the layout. And that's it for the specs. I mean, you know, it's pretty much par for the course for a $500 phone. But I'm a little bummed that they didn't put a telephoto as one of those two lenses, because, you know, that would have been cool, like to kind of match the Reno 2 in terms of specs. So yeah. So that's it, folks. This is the Reno 2 Z, a MediaTek phone with pretty high-end specs, upper mid-ranger. And so stay tuned for more. I'll discuss this a little more on the podcast. And of course, you know this channel is a supplement to my podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Overcast, Spotify, everywhere. Please subscribe, tell your friends. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe down here. Tell me what you think in the comments. Click that notification bell, tell your friends, like the video, all that good stuff. That's it, folks. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And until then, cheers, everybody.